Hello from World University and School's weekly business meeting, news and question and answer on Monday, February 23rd, 2026 at 10 a.m. Eastern Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. I think it's 10:30 p.m. India time, and World University and School welcomes you to join this open WUaS weekly business meeting, loosely conducted in the manner of friends, Quakers, here in Zoom in an open conference call, with the URL for this posted to Twitter and LinkedIn indirectly. Check out the two blog posts for World University and School blogspot.com and scott-mccloud.blogspot.com for the Zoom URL in particular. As we wait to see if people will join this open WUaS news and question and answer, I'd like to share a little news with you. First, World University and School is growing and waiting for, I think, the state of California's IT platforms to develop further, particularly for the exempt state of California legal entity for World University and School, as well as for the Candid GuideStar affiliated with the IRS IT platform to develop further, as we seek to grow our nonprofit exempt wing, our World University and School wing, first wing, which both the Candid GuideStar profile for World University and School affiliated with the IRS and the exempt state of California World University and School legal entity relate to. I think we should be filing a statement of information by April 30th for the World University and School exempt wing in the state of California as they develop their IT platform, so stay tuned. So, dear World University and School community, Universitians, Peter Norvig, Google AI Director and Stanford Distinguished Education Fellow, and Stanford Law Codex Executive Director, Roland Vogel, all. Greetings from World University and School, building on CC4 licensed, Creative Commons 4 licensed, MIT OpenCourseWare in 7 languages. And you can see these languages at opencw.apprende.org/courses/translated-courses. And also building on Wikipedia, Wikidata in about 342 active languages, seeking to grow to 7,159 known living languages for speakers of all languages on the planet. World University and School continues to plan online free-to-student bachelor, PhD, law, MD, IB high school or similar for 16 to 18-year-olds, AA and AS degrees, 2-year undergraduate degrees, and master's degrees in each of all 200 countries and in their main languages, and as WUaS proceeds with accreditation, and in a Grow with Google WUaS program 2. And here again is the incredible Toolify AI WUaS article by Peter Norvig, Google AI Director, regarding World University and School, World University in School, building on MIT OpenCourseWare in 7 languages and with Wikidata as a backend structured knowledge database regarding Wikipedia in about 342 languages. The article Peter Norvig wrote, or with AI perhaps, is titled Revolutionizing Education with Machine Learning and AI, World University in School, updated on March 2nd, 2024. And check it out at the toolify.ai URL for this article. So CC4 licensed Wiki World University and School, planned in all 200 countries and in all 7,159 living languages, for online free degrees from home and as Wiki schools, is developing and growing, building on both MIT OpenCourseWare in 7 languages and Yale Open Yale courses, and with a realistic virtual Earth for STEM. And think in Google Street View with Google Time Slider, Google Maps, and Gemini AI, and at the Google Cell View and Google Molecule View levels, and as STEM field sites, science, technology, engineering, mathematics field sites around the world, and classrooms for new kinds of digital university learning experiences. And again, World University and School is also in a Grow with Google WUS program. And World University and School seeks further to develop this realistic virtual Earth for much of this. Having taught at least one university from a textbook, World University and School is also seeking to move beyond the textbook for our free online WUAS degrees as we accredit. And the second wing of WUAS, the WS Corporation, educational services stores academic press at WS in 7,159 living languages with machine learning and human and machine translation, seeks even to invent the book anew, publishing from Google Street View with possibly text in the sidebar. What do you think? So further in these regards and relating to a realistic virtual Earth, what do you think of this MIT Science AI and Simulations article titled Accelerating Science with AI and Simulations from MIT News? A professor at MIT who grew up in Spain and attended the University, I think, of Salamanca, writes, I started simulating the same chemical reactions I was measuring in the lab. This is a goal for World University and School to develop a realistic virtual Earth for such simulations that have a physical digital correspondence and inform a kind of conversation between the actual and the virtual, the physical and the digital. So this is exciting for a physical digital realistic virtual Earth for chemistry with large language models, and potentially in Google Street View with Time Slider, Google Molecule View, Google Earth. So World University and School's open WS weekly business meeting, of which this is today, news and question and answer, meet on Mondays. So next on today, February 23rd, and next on March 2nd, 2026 at 9 a.m. Mexico City time, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Mountain time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, US and Canada, 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, 10:30 p.m. India time, 1 a.m. Tuesday, the next day, Hong Kong time, and at all the in all the time zones in all the countries in between. So you're invited to join this WS News and Question and Answer to share your answers about World University and School's questions, or share your questions about what World University and School might help you with in your country with online free building on MIT OpenCourseWare education and with Wiki schools in all the languages of your countries, with an invitation again to join this. So the WS news and question and answer for today is drawing from the blog post that begins Santa Monica Mountains in both blogs, worlduniversityandschool.blogspot.com and in scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, dated Monday, February 16th, 2026. Check out the check out this agenda and news. Check out these agenda items as you possibly watch the video recording of today's WUaS News and Question and Answer, WUaS Weekly Business Meeting, as kind of video minutes. The recording I will post to the World University and School's main YouTube channel, youtube.com/ at Scott World University, and also to the blog posts for this week, beginning Skyline Ridge Open Space Preserve, Monday, February 23rd, 2026, and March 2nd, 2026, Open World and SCH World WS News and Question and Answer WS Weekly Business Meeting. All the best, abolitionally, a best STEAM Creative Commons licensed open courseware, Wiki, World and SCH. WUaS abolition movement is growing to protect people. And see more about this in the blog post in my blog from July of 2025 at scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2025/07/lotus-kamalapadma.html, and in WUaS Seeking to Code for all 7.9 billion people on the planet to facilitate wiki free universal education and to end poverty worldwide. Yogically, friendly NTF, NTQ, Quaker, and Unitarian Universalist greetings. Kind regards, Scott. So I'll post the recording of today's YouTube channel again to of today's WUaS Weekly Business Meeting, this WS News and Question and Answer, to the main YouTube channel, youtube.com/ at Scott World University /videos. Focusing a little bit last week on MIT OpenCourseWare in 7 languages, developing at Sundar Pichai, the Google and Alphabet CEO, potentially with Canva Education and Google Australia, and regarding free WUaS degrees in India's 22 scheduled languages, seeking to continue growing World University and School, potentially combining Google Australia, World University and School, and Canva Education to explore developing our online free degrees from home in India and Australia, potentially in a few initial Indian languages, possibly Hindi and Tamil and Gujarati, and potentially in conversation with Sundar Pichai and Peter Norvig and Canva Education, which is based in Sydney, Australia, and Google Australia, which is has its headquarters in Sydney, Australia too. How could we develop World University and School with Google Australia in a Grow with WS in a Grow with Google WS program, with canva.edu, and in all 22 official languages in India and in Australia and its languages as well? Stay tuned. So World University and School, moving to the first wing, the first of 2 wings at World University and School, the 501c3 or similar nonprofit CC licensed Best STEAM OpenCourseWare Wiki World University and School wing, and see its guidestar.org profile, which number is 27-310-5368. And main beginning webpage is http://worlduniversityandschool.org. Agenda item 0. As video minutes, the Monday, February 9th, 2026 video recording is posted. Check it out. And with its focus also on potentially a physical digital HTGAA virtual node, how to grow almost anything, synthetic biology class, virtual node, how to grow almost anything synthetic biology course class is out of MIT and Harvard and Wellesley. And World University and School is seeking to grow an HTGAA virtual node, potentially in 670 Ridgecrest Road, Canyon 94516 shop, and in a realistic virtual Earth. So check out these video minutes from February 9th in these regards also. So agenda item 1, how at the National Science Foundation, or at NSF, which is its Twitter X feed, how NSF could, at World Unit and SCH, realistic virtual Earth for quantum help with the NSF's new set of developments regarding building out a quantum and nanotechnology infrastructure program to establishing a nationwide network of open access research facilities for quantum and nanoscale technologies, innovation, and workplace training. So again, how NSF could World University and School's Realistic Virtual Earth for Quantum help? Created a set of Twitter X posts in these regards. How at NSF could World University and School's Realistic Virtual Earth for Quantum help? And in WUS universities in all 200 countries and their main languages, building on MIT OCW in 7 languages. By Realistic Virtual Earth for Quantum, think Google Street View with G Time Slider, Google Maps, Google Earth, hashtag G qubit, a basic unit of quantum physics, quantum mechanics, and think hashtag Gemini AI Ray Quantum, a quantum hashtag for further inquiries and conversations with Gemini AI about quantum. And by this, World University and School means a realistic interactive virtual Earth for quantum education, featuring university school street views with a time slider down to the atomic G atom and qubit, G qubit levels, combines geospatial technology with quantum simulation, such as Google Earth's 3D tiles, Google Quantum AI's virtual machine, and molecular vision visualization tools like Atom Touch. So a quantum world virtual Earth features would include a university school street view. Users can explore quantum research labs at institutions like Harvard, utilizing 256 qubit simulators, or Google Quantum AI using interactive 3D panoramas. It would also include multi-scale visualization. The system allows navigation for a global photorealistic Earth view down to the atomic and qubit levels, G-atom, G-qubit. Time slider, quantum time. A time slider functionality enables visualizing the evolution of a quantum system or the history of quantum advancements, similar to historical street view. This can represent the time-dependent nature of qubits, such as time crystals, or the evolution of quantum circuits at the G-qubit level. This quantum world virtual Earth features would also include G-atom and G-qubit levels. Atom level, G-atom, visualizing atomic structures, molecules, and molecular dynamics. Qubit level, G-qubit, visualizing the quantum state of superconducting qubits or trapped ions, Bloch spheres, superposition, and entanglement. Further, tools for implementation, visualization and simulation. Atom Touch, a tool for exploring molecular dynamics and atomic properties suitable for educational purposes. 3D Qubit Simulator, Reddit, a tool to visualize 3D lattice-based qubit transformations and state interactions. Atom Visualization, VR, OER Commons, Open Educational Resources Commons, an immersive tool for understanding atomic structure and manipulation. Geospatial and 3D integration. So this would include Google Maps platform 3D Maps API, allows developers to integrate 3D building models and street views for immersive experiences. And Cesium.js deck.gl, used for rendering 3D high-resolution geospatial data in combination with photorealistic 3D tiles. The educational application, this platform would allow students and researchers to interact with quantum speakers in real time, such as manipulating 256 qubit systems, exploring quantum sensing at the atomic level, and understanding the quantum landscape through a map-based interface. So more about this in subsequent WUaS weekly business meetings. Again, this set of Twitter posts retweeted that the NSF Twitter post. NSF is investing over 100 million to launch the NSF National Quantum and Nanotechnology Infrastructure Program, establishing a nationwide network of open access research facilities for quantum and nanoscale technologies, innovation, and workforce training. So how could World University and Schools Realistic Virtual Earth for Quantum help? Stay tuned. Further, agenda item 2. Want to see a painting of the world's oldest university? Hashtag University of Bologna, which started around 1088. At 3 minutes, 50 seconds of this video in the agenda and news. And check out Peter Norvig, the science of and engineering of online learning, which this video is a title for, and is a fascinating exploration of this as free World University and School in a Grow with Google WUaS program building on MIT Open courseware in 7 languages accredits. So a set of Twitter posts about this. Check out the video. Check out the picture of the world's oldest university that offers degrees, that offered some kinds of degrees, hired faculty, and further, agenda item 2A. Why is the University of Bologna considered the world's oldest university regarding knowledge generation, when there are older universities in India, for example? The University of Bologna, founded 1088, is considered the world's oldest university because it was the first institution to establish the modern legal and structural definition of a universitas, a self-governing guild of scholars granting recognized degrees. While older institutions existed in Asia and Africa, e.g. Nalanda, Al-Qarawiyyin, Bologna pioneered the specific academic model of independent, continuous knowledge generation. Key reasons Bologna is considered the oldest include the Universitas model. It was the first institution to organize as a Universitas Scholarium, or a student-organized guild that hired teachers, creating a new autonomous model for higher learning. Degree granting structure. Bologna was the first to award formal, recognized academic degrees, setting the standard for academic certification. Academic freedom. The Constitutio Habita, dated 1158, granted legal independent rights to students and scholars, establishing the principle of academic freedom. Continuous operation. It is a maintained continuous operation and research since its founding. Definition of university. While older institutions like Nalanda and Al-Qarawiyyin were centers of higher learning, historians define university as a specific European medieval invention characterized by self-governance and curriculum control, which began in Bologna. Older institutions in India, Taxila, Nalanda, and the Islamic world, e.g. Al-Qarawiyyin, were foundational centers of knowledge, but functioned under different, often religious or imperial, organizational structures, rather than the independent corporate structure that defined the later European university systems. Read more about this in the blog post beginning Woodland Poppy Mallow in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2026/02 woodland-poppymallow.html. Agenda item 2B are free WUaS UNIVS universities, WS universities, hippie universities, and this is an exploration World University and School continues to think about and write about. So a set of Twitter posts about this. In seeking to revolutionize education at WUaS with hashtag machine learning and AI at WUaS, hashtag World University in School, and see Peter Norvig's incredible hashtag Toolify AI WUaS article on the toolify.ai webpage. Our free WUaS universities, hashtag hippie universities, and building on free ocw.mit.edu. I would suggest that yes, in some ways, but the hippie universities would emerge in many ways only with the 60s and 70s having happened regarding their freedom-seeking movements, for example. And a hippie university, while there are other ones that I write about in some of these blog posts around this time, World University and School may be a unique example of this online as we grow online. So another set of Twitter posts. Actually, that was a similar Twitter post. Check this further out on in the blog post, also beginning Woodland-Poppy Mallow in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2026/02/woodland-Poppy Mallow HTML. Agenda item 3. Theodoros Zanos, PhD, predict, prevent, personalize health AI at Northwell Health, Stanford Division of Computational Medicine, gave a talk online last week. Fascinating to hear him share his knowledge about electronic health records, in particular, in Northwell Health, which is based in the northeast of the US. And World University and School is seeking to develop uniquely avatar agent electronic health records, and for all 7.9 billion people on the planet. And with aging, reversal, and extreme longevity genetic drug therapies emerging, potentially FDA approved, and potentially with or in collaboration with or emerging from Epic EHR software, which Theodoros Zanos talked about, and working also with WS working with healthcare systems too across the US and in all 200 countries. Interesting to hear Theo Zanos, originally from Greece, talk about various applications within the Epic healthcare system. And World University and School is wondering how we could create new applications that would potentially help people live possibly beyond 122 years of age, even as they were becoming, or possibly various organs such as eyes and ears were becoming younger thanks to synthetic biology and aging reversal and extreme longevity genetic drug therapies. Read more about this in the blog post beginning Pavonia malacophylla in my blog from February of 2026, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2026/02/Pavonia-malacophylla.html. Agenda item 4. How could World University? So there was a recent Twitter post regarding from the European Parliament with Ursula von der Leyen giving a speech where she emphasizes simplification. And World University and School is wondering how we might simplify what she's describing further. And how could World University and School help with this? And regarding a roadmap too, where Ursula von der Leyen talks about a kind of roadmap, and World University and School might explore this further in a realistic virtual Earth, and think Google Maps with TimeSlider also. So created a set of Twitter posts about this. How could a realistic virtual Earth, as in a hashtag RVE for all countries, think hashtag GMaps, hashtag G Street View with hashtag G TimeSlider, G Gemini, hashtag Gemini AI in all 200 countries regarding WS universities with WUaS law schools, hashtag WUS Law SCHS at World University and School, coding from MIT OpenCourseWare in 7 languages, help. And read more about this in the blog post beginning Piney Woods-Geranium at scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2026/02/Piney Woods-Geranium.html. Agenda item 5, a blog post regarding a possible Shadyside Academy High School in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, mixer, alumni faculty mixer, where I attended Shadyside Academy from 1974 to 1979, and have been in communication with Shadyside Academy also regarding possibly accreditation in the state of Pennsylvania with Middle States Commission on Higher Education, with offices in the greater Philadelphia area. So I RSVP'd to Shadyside Academy, and regarding the World University and Schools also seeking to offer potentially that I RSVP'd to this invitation to a faculty SSA alumni faculty mixer at Shadyside Academy in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and that I couldn't come from the San Francisco Bay Area, but that World University and School is also seeking to make our free bachelor and AAAS degrees for potentially Shadyside Academy graduates and students available from home after they graduate. And even World University and School would be very interested in making MIT Open Courseware centric also international baccalaureate diplomas or similar for 16 to 18-year-olds available for free from home in the future. WUaS is continuing to proceed with accreditation and has the green light from the Middle States Commission on Higher Education with offices in the greater Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area. Please stay tuned. I also invited any of them to potentially join the WUaS weekly business meeting, loosely conducted in the manner of Friends Quakers, and talk, for example, about WUaS accreditation further. Thanks, Scott, SSA 79. And see the blog post beginning Pinewoods Geranium in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2026/02 pinywoodsgeranium.html. And I received an email about this at about the same time from Shadyside Academy seeking nominations for a teaching award. And I wanted to nominate Herr Sotak, my German teacher at Shadyside in the late 1970s for this award. More about this in pinywoods-geranium.html. Agenda item 6. How I touched on this in the initial part of this WUaS weekly business meeting in the letter I read to the World University and School community regarding accelerating science with AI and simulations, MIT News, and how a MIT chemistry professor from Spain originally wrote, I started simulating the same chemical reactions I was measuring in the lab, which is very exciting for physical, digital, realistic, virtual Earth for chemistry with large language models at World University and School. Check out the blog post Pavonia Malacophylla further about this. Agenda item 7. Recently, Conversations Live with Stuart McNish in the Vancouver, British Columbia area in Canada held a panel titled The Mayors. And very interesting to hear this. And much of the conversation focused on homelessness in the greater Vancouver area, also transportation and housing. And I wondered in the question and answer opportunity about, created a set of Twitter posts about this, the shortage of housing and how could a realistic virtual Earth for planning help? And regarding a realistic virtual Earth for cities, between 3 levels of hashtag Canadian governments, federal, provincial, and I think local city. And by this, I mean think Google Street View with Time Slider and Gemini AI, and even in the future in hashtag Robo Toyota Sienna vans and hashtag Toyota camping vans with a hashtag Toyota designed hashtag shower toilet kitchen. British Columbia has lots of space, although cities there in Southwest Canada, in Southwest BC are growing in population, I think. But there's lots of space potentially to work with, possibly even Toyota Sienna camping vans to help with housing shortages? I've touched on these questions previous World University and School weekly business meetings. For example, in Massachusetts, Senator and U.S. Senator and former Harvard law professor Elizabeth Warren said some months ago that Massachusetts is 2,000 houses short. And I also inquired, I think in a Twitter post, how could possibly Toyota Sienna camping vans help with this? Thanks for the mayor's conversation, Stuart McNish. And I'm wondering also how possibly the mayors in the San Francisco Bay Area might help with further developing communication between various areas in the San Francisco Bay Area. More about that another time. Read more about Conversations Live with Stuart McNish, the mayors, and watch the mayor's video accessible through scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2026/02 Pavonia malacophila.html. I think Stuart McNish may be related to Mary Ellen McNish, a former general secretary or head of the American Friends Service Committee. Fascinating to be in touch with Stuart McNish in these regards too. Agenda item 8. So further questions along the hippie vans, hippie World University and School, and music that helped or emerged from the 1960s and 70s, and regarding Leo Kottke, 12 and 16 6-string guitar player. What are Leo Kottke's most hippie albums? And what are the 10 most hippie albums from the 1960s and 70s? And regarding universities, I asked Gemini AI and also created some Twitter posts about this. Got some fascinating responses. The Armadillo album from 1969 to 1971, the Greenhouse album from 1972, My Feet Are Smiling from 1973, and Ice Water from 1974. And check out the Hippies Wiki subject page or Wiki School at World University and School as well in these regards. Add something there. Teach or learn there. So I said a Twitter post in these regards. What are hashtag 12-string guitar player, hashtag Leo Kottke's most hashtag hippie albums? I asked in this Twitter post, the Armadillo album, Greenhouse, My Feet Are Smiling, Ice Water. Check out hashtag WUaS Wiki and the subject on the wiki subjects page, the hippies wiki subject in these regards. More about this in the blog post beginning Woodland Poppy Mallow. scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2026/02/woodland-poppymallow.html, which also lists hippie universities. Could be construed that way. Hippie universities that were sometimes often started in the 60s and 70s and similar. Agenda item 9. I updated recently the World University and Schools grants.gov password, and maybe funding will be forthcoming from grants.gov for the nonprofit 501c3 World University and School as we proceed with our this wing of World University and School, the exempt wing, the 501c3 legal entity, World University and School, and the state of California exempt legal entity, World University and School, on the first wing of World University and School. I also updated recently the Candid Guide Star profile for World University and School and re-obtained, I guess, a silver level. And when, I wonder, will this interoperate? Is this the correct word? Fully with the World University and School State of California's exempt status on the nonprofit side of World University and School. And this is something I touched on in the very beginning of today's WUaS News and Question and Answer. And I'll keep you posted as World University and School creates this next step for our exempt state of California legal entity, which potentially interoperates with the Candid Guide Star profile for World University and School, where Candid Guide Star is affiliated with the IRS. Agenda item 10. Wiki add the two pictures in the blog post below, two of Harbin Hot Springs before the fire, their two guest buildings, to a realistic virtual Harbin Hot Springs further in 2005. How? So how to wiki add the two pictures in the blog post below, beginning Manzanita Arctostaphylos to Google Street View with TimeSlider in 2005 for a realistic virtual Harbin. So I received in my Google Photos two pictures of Harbin Hot Springs guest buildings before the fire, the Valley Fire of 2015, and on my smartphone from, I think, Google Pics or Google Photos, and would like to further add these, wiki add these to Google Street View with TimeSlider to further build out a realistic virtual Harbin Hot Springs and a realistic virtual Earth, and for my second Harbin Hot Springs ethnographic book project. So check out this blog post. And regarding my first book and the academic press at World University and School's first book, Naked Harbin Ethnography, Hippies, Warm Pools, Counterculture, Clothing Optionality, and Virtual Harbin, which was published in 2016. More in the blog post, Manzanita Arctostaphylos. So agenda item 10B. In today's free World University and School weekly business meeting, WUaS News and Question and Answer, agenda item 11. We've been exploring how to develop an HTGAA virtual node, a laboratory, potentially a physical digital laboratory for synthetic biology that would work with the other 15 this year in HTGAA 2026 the nodes around the world, such as in Tokyo and Seoul and San Francisco, as laboratories for committed students who are taking this HTGAA, How to Grow Almost Anything Synthetic Biology course this spring. How could World University and School develop a physical digital, some blooming, I think cherry blossoms are falling right now. Cherry blossom petals are falling. It's very nice. How could World University and School not only possibly develop a node, a physical laboratory, but turn it into a virtual node and hashtag HTGAA virtual node? So students, committed listeners, possibly matriculating in the future at World University and School for this science course, this synthetic biology course for Harvard, MIT, and Wellesley registered students, could take this course from their homes, not be limited by having to go to one of 15 cities because they live near those cities and there aren't any other nodes to do experiments in for HTGAA committed listener students. So in these regards, and regarding a realistic virtual Earth for experiments, and a realistic virtual Earth for and a realistic virtual Harbin Hot Springs 2, I also explored in this blog post building out a realistic virtual Earth for a Grateful Dead show in and around the Berkeley Community Theater, which is part of the Berkeley High School, on August 24th, 1972. The recording of this video is posted, and I haven't found it yet with live video. The recording of this concert is available to listen to in a number of different ways. So, how to build out a realistic virtual Earth for a Grateful Dead show in and around the Berkeley Community Theater, and building out further, creating a virtual Earth up to the UC Berkeley campus, about 5 blocks away in 1972. And then even traveling up to Harbin Hot Springs after this Grateful Dead show virtually in virtual NorCal, Northern California, and to a virtual Harbin Hot Springs in 1972. And were you there then, Ishvara? I sent this partly as a birthday greeting to Ishvara Bob Hartley, who's the founder of Harbin Hot Springs since 1972 and is around 93 years of age now. And drawing from pictures and building out this realistic virtual Earth for a Grateful Dead show, and a realistic virtual Earth for Northern California, and a realistic virtual Earth for Harbin Hot Springs, drawing from pictures and documents from California archives to make Harbin come alive in a hashtag realistic virtual Earth for history. So Harbin's John Streeter, whom I know from about the year 2004, 2005, had texted me a few months ago saying that Ishvara and he were kind of celebrating the Valley Fire of 2015 for raising Harbin, for burning Harbin to the ground. Glad navigating, I write to Ishvara and a circle of Harbinites, glad navigating the Harbin currents are better for you, Ishvara and John, and as survivors of some of those negative vortexes Sunhart used to characterize aspects of Harbin, and which I write about also in my first book, Naked Harbin Ethnography, published by the Academic Press at World University and School in 2016. Read more about this in the blog post beginning Manzanita, Arctostaphylos, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2026/02, Manzanita-Arctostaphylos.html. Agenda item further, 11. Happy birthday to you, Ishvara and Richard Bach, originally from Germany. In this birthday greeting I send to Ishvara and Richard, glad some of us are continuing to listen to great rock and roll, like Mountain Jam, live at the Fillmore East, March 12th in 1971, for example, and the video link is there, the recording link is there. Some recent developments regarding yoga genetics and aging reversal and extreme longevity genetic drug therapies, with a first FDA clinical trial for ER-100 gene drug therapy in humans for eyes. Here in agenda item 2, in the WUaS News and Question and Answer agenda for beginning Mount Shasta Wilderness from February of 2026 in both blogs. And see also George Church's video interview titled The End of Aging in agenda item 8, here in the blog post beginning Mount Whitney in both blogs, another WUaS Agenda and News WUaS Weekly Business Meeting. Happy birthday greets from Berserkly, Scott. So agenda item 11B, regarding a PS I added to this email greeting, birthday greeting to Ishvara and Richard. Here's some great classical music, but it ain't the same as, for example, Allman Brothers playing at the Fillmore East in 1971 Mountain Jam. A piece by Walker titled Lyric for Strings, Brahms's Symphony No. 3, and Dvorak's Cello Concerto, which YouTube video recordings are posted in today's WUaS News and Question and Answer agenda and news. And check out in particular the Dvorak Cello Concerto in B minor with Yo-Yo Ma cello at the Calgary Philharmonic Orchestra, where Yo-Yo Ma plays virtuosically and really comes in connection with this orchestra in fascinating ways from a few years ago. This was a concert series at the Pittsburgh Symphony about a month ago, I think. And more about this in the blog post beginning scott-mccloud.blogspot.com 2026/02 Manzanita arctostaphylos.html. Agenda item 12. Restorative yoga class on Saturdays, and as we may live to 150 and well beyond. For Valentine's Day, here are some Angela and Farmer and Victor Van Coten yoga partner teaching explorations. Dear Annie, Alden, Donna, George, and Maitreyi, both professors in Harvard Medical School, Ma, Janie, Byron, Peter Norvig, AI, yogis all. Happy Valentine's Day tomorrow. For Valentine's Day, here are some Angela Farmer and Victor Van Coten yoga partner teaching explorations. So one is titled Angela Farmer and Victor Van Coten partner Nadi Sodhana balance technique, where Nadi Sodhana is a yogic pranayama technique of alternate nostril breathing. And I post about 5 videos with Angela and Victor teaching. They're all short. Check them out. Want to try these in the future to this exploratory restorative yoga class emailings that I'm writing weekly? I'm continuing to seek to move forward into a newly safe vacant with the deed 670 Ridgecrest Road, Canyon 94516, and potentially to grow a physical virtual yoga hall in the shop there too. Stay tuned. More about this in the blog post beginning Indian Sundew flower, Indian Sundew in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2026/02 indiansundew.html. And agenda item 12.2, and for tomorrow, Saturday, February 14th, 2026, explore restorative yoga with from here further, perhaps riffing with these in your own yoga explorations. And I share 2 classes I taught online, both about 15 minutes long, open restorative yoga class on Saturdays and in the mornings, and as we may live to 150 and well beyond. And from 12/25/25 and from December 27th, 2025. And regarding especially a yoga and longevity genetics conversation, hashtag Yoga and Longevity Genetics Convo, and hashtag WUaS Yoga. More about this in the blog post beginning Indian Sundew in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2026/02 Indian-sundew.html. So agenda item 12.3, a yoga and longevity and aging reversal genetics conversation, how to reverse muscle wasting as we age, and with aging reversal genetic drug therapies emerging, how to develop hashtag, this is a Twitter, I think this is a Twitter post, how to develop hashtag yoga genetics for performance, higher, faster, stronger athletics, and hashtag ethics. What, how, if and when, hashtag vaccines for hashtag yoga athletes with hashtag WUaS longevity and hashtag WUaS aging reversal, genetic drugs develop and give us younger, say at age 150 years old, more supple bodies. How hashtag yoga ethics work. This is actually in my hippie Angeli yoga notations, which are at scottmccloud.com/yoga notations.html. And further, in this agenda item, and do or might you, George Church, respond to this in your interview with Dwarkesh Patel from June of 2025 here in a video, a 90-minute video titled "A Billion Years of Evolution in a Single Afternoon." George Church, regarding how to develop yoga genetics for muscle wasting reversal and potentially for height and potentially for higher, faster, stronger, more supple athletics. And does George respond to this in A Billion Years of Education in a Single Afternoon by possibly suggesting researchers could focus on genes for height and as a multigenic trait, a multigenic trait at the 12-minute marker, where height might be caused by 10,000 genes. How to focus research on these genes, possibly even for muscle wasting reversal too, but also higher, faster, stronger, more supple genetics, more supple bodies as we age beyond 122 years of age, with aging reversal genetic drug therapies and extreme longevity genetic drug therapies emerging. So read more about this in the blog post beginning bowheadwhale.html and scott-mccloud.blogspot.com from 2025 in September. Blog post beginning bowhead whale. So could aging reversal geneticists begin to focus on and study and produce DNA proteins for the trait of height, which then could be further developed for higher, faster, stronger, more supple yoga genetics? For example, in sun salutation, Surya Namaskar. Read more about this in the blog post beginning Indian Sundew in scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2026/02 Indian-sundew.html. Agenda item 13. How might we do further research in a realistic virtual earth for molecules and a realistic virtual earth for genetics on yoga asana and the yoga relaxation response meditation and other genes that, for example, George Church is focusing on in aging reversal genetics and extreme longevity genetics? I asked this of a Gemini AI, and I'll just read the beginning of Gemini AI's incredible response. To conduct research into the intersection of yoga asana, the relaxation response, RR, and George Church's aging reversal genetics, we can move beyond static data and build a realistic virtual earth for genetics. By transitioning from electronic health records to avatar agents and finally to digital twins, we can simulate this synergy between ancient mind-body practices and cutting-edge synthetic biology. The research framework, from record to agent, a virtual earth allows us to simulate millions of lives simultaneously to see how behavioral changes, for example, yoga, interact with genetic interventions. Church. Phase A, data foundation, EHR, the baseline, target genes. Phase B, the art of avatar agent, the experimental proxy. The practice variable, the intervention variable, the hypothesis. Phase C, the digital twin, molecular simulation. This is the high fidelity stage where we model the actual molecular docking and protein folding, which include molecular dynamics in silico aging. Read more about this in the blog post in this WUaS News and Question and Answer. In the blog post beginning Indian Sundew in scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2026/02. Agenda item 14, synthetic biology for longevity research and yoga and asana and gene trait of height regarding muscle wasting reversal, especially, and ordering DNA and proteins for our avatar agent electronic health records. I asked this of Gemini AI, for example, from Twist Bioscience, which is in Canada and making proteins and DNA synthetically, and got some incredible responses. A set of Twitter posts about this. Is one approach that hashtag aging reversal and hashtag extreme longevity, hashtag synthetic biologists going to take is to synthesize DNA and proteins and get these from companies like hashtag Twist Bioscience and add them back to our bodies. Gemini replies, hashtag synthetic biology for the hashtag WUaS longevity research, and check out Gemini's reply. Yes, genetic trait for height researchers would target pathways like GH1, growth hormone, and IGF-1 axes in the virtual Earth. WUaS could simulate epigenetic editing of these genes to find the optimal expression levels that increase height without causing side effects like acromegaly, muscle wasting reversal, yoga genetics. Read more about this in the blog post beginning Indian Sundew. And also, especially in a different blog, beginning Silene Dioica in scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2026/02, Silene Dioica.html. Agenda item 15. How are people's virtual world building skills going? And in schools, e.g., even for history and so much more. This is something that we have a new opportunity to do and may explore in a variety of ways with these new tools, these AI tools for building virtual worlds. Perhaps this is something we could begin to teach at World University and School and in other educational settings. So again, build out a realistic virtual Earth for the August 24th, 1972 Grateful Dead show in and around Berkeley Community Theater. And building out further a virtual Earth to the UC Berkeley campus. Could we even go to classes that were held, for example, on August 24th in the UC Berkeley classrooms, about 5 blocks away from the Berkeley Community Theater, and then also build out a realistic virtual Earth for Northern California and a virtual Harbin Hot Springs. More about this in the blog post beginning Manzanita arctostaphylos. So moving to the second wing of World University and School, the WUaS Corporation, the second of 2 WUaS wings, also the academic press at WUaS, planned in 7,159 languages with machine learning. Its webpage is still in a beginning form at worlduniversityandschool.org/academicpress.html. There was a Stanford Law Codex meeting on February 12th with Swift Law and eLegals and CBC. And I wondered whether, and asked in a text chat, are there or might there be specific AI and AI IT legal issues if you were to create software for index mutual funds? And this was a question to Sarketh, who presented for Swift Law, with software that can help create funds, say, for law firms. And I wondered, asking Saketh, are there or might there be specific AI or IT legal issues if you were to create software for index mutual funds? For example, like the Vanguard S&P 500 or the Vanguard FTSE Social Index Mutual Fund, and see the PPPS, and to make possible low-cost funds, for example. And Saketh Kasiraju, the CEO and founder of SwiftLaw, is developing AI for fund information. Agenda item B, regarding that Stanford Law Codex presentation from February 12th, I was wondering with Alexandra Glaria, who was presenting about Brazil and potentially how to develop or measure behaviors with AI software that might influence the development of corporate diagnosis based on data that indicate human behavior behind business activities, including in particular legal data. So he's the founder of Vision, and it's Alexander's Codex project, and it concerns the development of a system and method for corporate diagnosis based on data that indicate human behavior behind business activities, including in particular legal data. Based on several empirical tests, this system and method have proven to possess unique predictive powers and applicability across various fields. Fascinating. How could Brazil World University and School potentially grow in conversation with Alexandra Glaria? Read more about this in the blog post beginning Pavonia Malikophila. Agenda item C. Roland, I found your observation fascinating at the end regarding a corporate world and a cryptocurrency world of this presentation on February 12th, 2026, and potentially regarding the tests Alexander mentioned taking place in Brazil and the US. As some of you may know, Wiki World University and School, building on CC4 licensed MIT OCW in 7 languages, is planned in all 200 countries and for speakers of all 7,159 known living languages, and for free online WUaS law schools too, and in seeking to hire large numbers of law faculty and Stanford Law School graduates. And from there is seeking to code for most of all 7.9 billion people on the planet from here, you at World University, each a Wikidata PIN number, and to facilitate free universal education, both degrees and wiki schools, and to end poverty, potentially by distributing Stanford MindPi cryptocurrency to most of the people on the planet. You can get free Stanford MindPi cryptocurrency with this invitation code from SGKMAC, mindpi.com/SGKMAC. And more about this in the blog post beginning Pavonia Malikophila. So how could World University and School potentially work with and develop our law schools, possibly in conversation with Stanford Law School, and regarding our initial 9 beginning law schools: Afghanistan Law School, Brazil Law School, China Law School, Egypt Law School at WUaS, India Law School at WUaS, Jamaica Law School at WUaS, Mexico Law School at WUaS, World University and School Law School, and the one beginning one with regard to a US state, Iowa Law School at WUaS. And read more about this in the blog post beginning Pavonia Malikophila. So agenda item D, this is an invitation to you to get Stanford MindPi free money daily. Pi is a new digital cryptocurrency, a new digital currency developed by Stanford PhDs with over 55 million members worldwide. To claim your Pi, follow this link, mindpi.com/SGKMac, and use my name as your invitation code. More about this in the blog post beginning Pavonia Malakophylla. So that's World University and Schools, WUaS News and Question and Answer for today, Monday, February 23rd, 2026, using the agenda from Monday, February 16th, 2026, beginning Santa Monica Mountains, from Monday, February 16th, 2026 agenda. And I'll post today's recording as video minutes to today's WUaS News and Question and Answer blog post beginning Skyline Ridge Open Space Preserve, and with the link to the blog posts beginning Santa Monica Mountains. So thank you, and look forward to carrying on this conversation. I continue to hear back from some of you over the course of the week in a variety of ways. We'll touch more on that potentially next Monday, February 23rd, 2024. And we'll post the recording of this again to the two blogs for today, beginning Skyline Ridge Open Space Preserve, and also the two main Twitter posts, Twitter feeds, twitter.com/World University and twitter.com/WORLD, and twitter.com/WUaS Press, as well as to, of course, the YouTube channel and LinkedIn too. So thank you. If you have questions, know of students who might be interested in matriculating at World University and School for free online degrees from home, from any of 200 countries, first in English, with WUaS building on MIT OpenCourseWare in 7 languages, let me know. And as we develop also wiki schools for open teaching and learning for speakers of all 7,159 known living languages, if you would like to explore teaching in some of these regards, even to get kind of teaching experience, let me know as well. President at World University and School. And until next week, check out our worlduniversityandschool.org main homepage, and see you on February 23rd, 2026 at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Till next week. Bye for now.